So those of you who are sitting in the front probably are the more outward directed temperaments. That's the choleric and the sanguine or sanguinic. Because you like to be in front where the action is. It's just the nature of that kind of person who's engaged, whereas melancholics tend to hold back a little bit. And phlegmatics tend to just be, they're fine wherever they are, but they didn't make a point of going all the way to the front. So they're temperaments that are a little more outward and temperaments that are a little bit more inward. They're temperaments that are a little more active. The choleric and the sanguine temperaments are a little more active. The melancholic tends to hold back. The phlegmatic just tends to be, let it be. So I'm going to spend a few minutes on each temperament because time is tight. So if you think of the four classical elements, earth, water, air, and fire, the choleric is the fiery temperament. So cholerics like to be in charge. They like to command. They speak loudly and often. They are always right. It's important for a choleric to be right. So they're early, they control things, they manipulate if they have to, but most of the time it's just the strength of their character they command. And I'm a pretty much unredeemed choleric. I get a phenomenal amount done in my life because I know what I want to do, I know how to do it, and I do it well. And if I need to get help, I probably won't ask for it because it's a bit of an insult to a choleric to have to ask for help. You just, committee of one, best kind of committee for a choleric, the committee of one. So a choleric, whatever the choleric says is true just because he said it. It's just like, you know, people say think before you speak. If anything, I'll think after I speak to assess whether it's true or not, but it sounds true. My wife can't stand the fact I say everything with emphasis as if it is the truth. I say that's just my way of expressing myself. But that's the choleric. Cholerics like to be active. They like to sprint. They're not the distance runner, they're the sprinter. They like to get to places early and to be the first one there. In contrast to the choleric, the phlegmatic is really laid back. Phlegmatics are like the watery element. So you have the fiery element, and Rudolf Steiner said that the choleric experiences the circulatory system very strongly. So you think of the blood pounding in your head when you're angry. That's a choleric kind of feeling. Phlegmatic is a more watery temperament. If you think of the seasons, the choleric is the summer, the phlegmatic is the winter. So thunderstorms in the summer, the light snow falling in the winter. So phlegmatic lives very deeply in the physical body, where everything is just more or less at rest. So those of you expressing the phlegmatic, I can't imagine a phlegmatic doing ballet because why move when you don't need to move? Why get there quickly when you can get there slowly? You know the fable of the tortoise and the hare? The phlegmatic is the tortoise. The slow and steady wins the race. Phlegmatics tend toward the portly and the stout because they like comfort, they like to eat. They like to eat the same thing over and over again because it just feels so good to have that good feeling over and over again. So you can imagine the couch potato phlegmatic who's just very happy watching reruns because seeing it for the second time is even more satisfying than the first time because you don't really have to pay attention all the time. It's all just the way it should be. Phlegmatics don't need to say much, but when they do speak, often there's this saying, still waters run deep, that they often say something very profound.